Hi, I'm Pam Laskey with Maine Foodie Tours, and I'm here at the beautiful demonstration kitchen at LaRue Kitchens, located on Commercial Street in the Old Port. And I'm happy to say this will be the new starting point for Maine Foodie Tours this summer. And I'm here with the manager, Susie Rappan. You, I know, have hundreds of customers come in the store every day. And do a lot of them ask you about lobster?
Almost everybody asks us about lobster, and probably our most asked question is, where do you go for lobster? Because people don't want to go to a tourist trap, they want to go where locals go. And my answer, and most of the staff's answer is, well, we go home.
If you're looking to cook lobsters at home, there's a great option for you. You can call or visit online my good friend Tom Martin with Lucky Catch Lobsters. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Pam.
How you doing?
Great.
Tom has a lobster boat touring company that takes people out Memorial Day through Labor Day.
Through Columbus Day.
Through Columbus
we
Day,
go all the way to October.
Okay.
It's okay, or it gets too cold.
And people can actually go out on your working lobster boat.
Yep, we stop commercial lobstering that time of year, so we take passengers out. So we give them a little taste of what it's like to haul up a trap and then catch their own lobster. And one of the most frequent questions we get,
yes,
almost daily, is what's the best way to cook a lobster?
I like that. Well, I've of course only really heard about boiling lobster.
Right, and a lot of people boil. I think that's probably the most common way that people have known over the years. But these days, a lot of people are steaming the lobster. And we're going to do steaming in seawater, since we have the luxury of being right here across the street from the Atlantic Ocean.
Yes.
We can scoop up some water. But if you don't have seawater, we also have these cooking sea salts. These right here you can actually buy at LaRue Kitchen, and there's a 1 ounce pouch. Those come with the boxes that we send out to people, so you can actually flavor the water. Nice. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put a little bit of this in our pot where we're boiling the lobster.
Okay.
Yep. We just pour that in. Yep. That is actually real Maine sea salt. They dry that up in Cherryfield, Maine.
Nice.
Almost in like a greenhouse is how they make that. And, okay.
And you've got about 8 inches of water in here.
Yep, we're going to put a couple lobsters in there. This is our steamer, and here are our lobsters.
Ooh.
So another question sometimes is asked is, do you cook the lobster with the rubber bands on, or do you take them off? And of course, taking them off is risky. At that point, if they're lively, you can get pinched and it'll hurt. We feel a lot more pain than the lobster feels.
Oh, do they feel pain?
They don't feel pain. No, lobsters, they have a very, very primitive central nervous system, and their brain has no cerebral cortex, so they actually can't sense pain.
Good.
Yes.
That's really good to know.
That is good to know. So we love our lobsters. But there's 2 easy ways to take the rubber bands off if you choose to do that.
Okay.
You make sure you grab both the claws in one hand so you're in control. If you only hold one claw like this and you take the band off, you can reach over with the other one and get you. So you can either just grab the band and just slide it off like this, or are there some scissors right there next to you? Thank you. This is the way most people like to do it, and the only reason I don't do it this way is because the bands can go anywhere and then you got to pick them up later. But basically you can just snip the bands off. If I can get that. There.
Great. Great.
All right, first lobster's going in the pot.
Okay.
All right, this one's going in.
Okay.
Okay.
And about how long do they cook when you're boiling them?
We're going to boil the lobsters for about 10 to 12 minutes.
Okay.
If the more lobsters you put in the pot, the longer it's going to take for the lobster to come back up to a boil.
Okay.
So the more you do, the longer it's going to take. We're going to do 2 lobsters in each, and 10 minutes should be sufficient.
Okay.
But and the steaming is actually even a little faster because the steam is actually hotter than the boiling water. Because it takes a little more temperature to make the steam, and it should cook them a little faster.
Okay.
And what some people think the advantage is to the steaming over the boiling is just when you crack the lobster open at the end, you just don't have all that much water that runs out over your plate and down into your lap.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
You want to see the difference between a male and a female?
Sure.
If you turn the lobster upside down like this, you see the top 2 flippers under the tail. Whoops, sorry. If they're soft and feathery and they crisscross a little bit, like this one is, then that's a female.
Okay.
And on this one, you can see there are 2 little rigid white rods with orange tips.
Yes.
That's the male. And there's no difference in taste between the male and the female.
Right.
But sometimes people just like to know that. And when you see a female with the eggs on the outside of the tail, it's very obvious to the lobsterman. He leaves a scar on one of the female's tail flippers, and from that point on, she always has to be set free. But every now and then, you'll have the eggs on the inside of the tail that just haven't come out yet, and that they call the coral. It shows up as like a hard orange substance on the back side of the tail.
Oh yes, I've seen that.
Yeah, and most people would not eat that, but I've heard
Right.
of some people that do. All right, here's our lobster.
Okay, are we
All
rolling?
done.
Oh, that looks beautiful. How do you know that it's cooked, Tom?
Well, one of the most popular ways, Pam, is people like to snap the antennas, and when the antennas snap, then they know the lobster's done. We'll check on this guy right here.
Okay.
See that? Just go snap like that.
Okay.
That means the lobster's done.
He's cooked.
But typically, see, just come right off like that.
Okay.
The last part of the lobster, well, you saw initially the lobsters are all like black and greenish in color.
Yeah.
And that's the primary pigment in the lobster shell is the bright reddish orange. So no matter what the color of the lobster is when you put them in the pot, even if you get a very rare blue lobster or some other albino,
Right.
they will always turn red when they're cooked.
Okay.
And a lot of people from away, you know, everyone has a story of some lobsters they sent to their cousin or
Yeah.
brother somewhere in the Midwest, and they got the lobsters, they opened the box, and they were green, and they thought they were bad, so they threw them away.
Oh.
Yeah, because a lot of
Big
people
mistake.
associate it with the, you know, the bright red color.
Right. Right.
Yeah. But the last part is the outside of the shell. That's the last part that will turn red. So as soon as that's red or almost red, you know you're fine.
Okay.
And the one thing, you don't want to overcook them either. So
Right.
if you have good heat at 15, 18 minutes, that would be the top end of how long you'd want to steam them for.
Tom, maybe you can just show folks how to continue to get to the meat out.
Oh,
of the
sure.
shell
Once
there.
we've reached this point, we've got the claws and the tail off where the majority of the meat is. With the tail, you see that nice chunk of meat in there. It looks
Beautiful.
really good. There's a couple ways to do it. One way is you can peel off these flippers here on the back of the tail. You can take a fork and stick it through, or if you're brave, you just stick your finger right through there and you push the meat right out and see how it just slides right through.
Oh yeah.
Look at
Beautiful.
that. That's a beautiful piece of meat.
It sure is.
Yep. This white stuff here, that's actually the lobster's blood that's congealed. Not necessarily appetizing, but let's be factual. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yep. The lobster's blood is clear, and then when the lobster is cooked, this is what it looks like.
Okay.
Yep. Can't hurt you. Doesn't really have any taste. You can go ahead and eat it if you want.
We've tried all three, and I have to say that my personal favorite was just the good old-fashioned boiled lobster. I loved it. It was great.
I actually like the one steamed in beer. I think it had a really nice little beer finish to it. And it makes me want to try it now steamed in white wine.
Ooh, nice, Susie. Tom, what'd you think?
My favorite was the one steamed in good old-fashioned Atlantic seawater.
Nice, nice. So I guess no matter how you cook your lobster, as long as it's from Maine, it's gotta be